After 60, one decision quietly determines whether your retirement feels secure or financially stressful. Most Americans think the question is simple. Should I keep working a few more years or retire early and enjoy life? It sounds like a lifestyle choice. In reality, it's one of the most expensive financial decisions you'll ever make. If you want clear, honest explanations about retirement and Social Security, subscribe to the channel. Like this video if you've ever wondered whether retiring early is really worth the cost. Comment below. Are you thinking about working longer or retiring early after 60? The problem is that this decision is usually framed the wrong way. People focus on energy levels, stress, or the desire for freedom. Very few stop to calculate the long-term financial impact, how this choice affects income, investments, and how long retirement money actually needs to last. After 60, time becomes the most valuable asset you have. Not just time to live, but time for your money to work. Retiring early doesn't just mean stopping work. It means stopping contributions, stopping years of compound growth, and starting withdrawals sooner. Every year you retire early adds another year your portfolio must support you. That pressure compounds quietly, especially when markets don't cooperate. Working longer does more than provide a paycheck. It can reduce the number of years your savings must last, lower the risk of running out of money, and increase guaranteed income through Social Security. Yet many people dismiss this option without understanding what they're giving up financially. What makes this decision especially dangerous is that the consequences don't show up immediately. In the first years of retirement, everything often feels fine. Expenses seem manageable. Savings still look healthy. That's why so many retirees believe they made the right choice. Until years later, when inflation rises, healthcare costs increase, and investment returns fluctuate. This is where regret begins. Most people don't realize that after 60, retirement decisions are no longer about maximizing freedom today. They're about minimizing financial risk tomorrow. Another critical factor is longevity. Retirement isn't 10 or 15 years anymore. Many Americans will spend 25, 30, or even 35 years in retirement. Decisions made in your early 60s echo for decades. A small mistake early on becomes a permanent financial drag later. This is why the work longer or retire early question is not a personal preference. It's a strategic choice that reshapes your entire retirement income picture. And the truth is uncomfortable. The cost of retiring early after 60 is often far higher than people expect, while the financial value of working longer is widely underestimated. Until you understand how this decision changes everything, income, investments, and long-term security, it's easy to choose based on emotion instead of math. And after 60, emotional decisions are usually the most expensive ones. Retiring early after 60 often feels like a reward for years of hard work. The freedom is real, but so are the financial trade-offs that rarely get discussed. The most overlooked cost of early retirement is time. Every year you stop working early adds another year your savings must cover. That means more withdrawals, more exposure to market volatility, and less room for recovery if investments underperform. Many retirees assume their portfolios will grow steadily, even while they're taking money out. In reality, early retirement years are the most dangerous period for investment returns. Withdrawals during market downturns can permanently damage a portfolio, even if markets rebound later. This risk is known as sequence of returns risk, and it's far more common than most people expect. Healthcare costs are another hidden factor. Retiring before Medicare eligibility often means paying higher insurance premiums and out-of-pocket expenses. These costs arrive early and compound over time, draining retirement savings faster than planned. Taxes also play a larger role than people realize. Without wages, retirees often rely on tax-deferred accounts for income. Larger withdrawals can push taxable income higher, reducing net retirement income and increasing lifetime tax costs. Inflation quietly magnifies every one of these issues. Even modest inflation erodes purchasing power year after year. When retirement begins earlier than planned, inflation has more time to work against you. What makes these costs especially dangerous is how invisible they are at the start. Early retirement often feels manageable in the first few years. Portfolios still look strong, expenses appear predictable. But as retirement stretches on, these hidden costs accumulate and flexibility disappears. Retiring early isn't always a mistake. For some, it can work. But for many Americans after 60, it introduces financial risks they never calculated. Risks that only become clear when it's too late to reverse course. Working a few extra years after 60 is often viewed as a sacrifice. More stress, less freedom, and delayed retirement dreams. Financially, however, those additional years can dramatically reshape the outcome of retirement. The most obvious benefit is continued income. A paycheck reduces or even eliminates the need to withdraw from retirement savings. This single factor alone can protect a portfolio during its most vulnerable years, especially if markets are volatile or underperform. But the value of working longer goes far beyond salary. Each additional year of work shortens the number of years your savings must support you. That reduction in time lowers the risk of running out of money and increases the sustainability of retirement income. In many cases, 1 or 2 extra working years can have the same financial impact as tens of thousands of dollars in additional savings. Working longer can also improve social security benefits. Higher earning years may replace lower income years in the benefit calculation, increasing monthly income for life. Delaying claiming further boosts guaranteed income, providing a stronger financial foundation that doesn't depend on market performance. Another underestimated advantage is flexibility. Continued employment offers optionality, the ability to adjust plans if markets decline, expenses change, or health circumstances shift. Early retirees often lose this flexibility, while those who work longer retain control. There's also a psychological component that affects financial outcomes. Many people spend less and save more while working even later in life. This combination further strengthens retirement readiness without requiring major lifestyle sacrifices. Importantly, working longer doesn't have to mean full-time employment forever. Many Americans transition into part-time roles, consulting, or flexible work arrangements that preserve income while reducing stress. For those who can manage it, working longer is not about delaying life. It's about buying financial security. And in many cases, the financial value of waiting is far greater than people expect. One of the most misunderstood aspects of working longer after 60 is how it affects Social Security. Not just when you claim, but how much you receive for the rest of your life. Many Americans assume that Social Security benefits are fixed once they reach a certain age. In reality, continuing to work can meaningfully change the outcome. Higher earning years later in life can replace lower earning years in the benefit calculation, increasing your monthly benefit permanently. This matters more than most people realize. Social Security is one of the few sources of guaranteed income that adjusts for inflation and lasts as long as you live. Even a modest increase in the monthly benefit can translate into tens of thousands of dollars over a long retirement. Another common mistake is separating the decision to work longer from the decision to claim Social Security. These choices are deeply connected. Working longer often allows people to delay claiming, which further increases benefits and reduces reliance on investment withdrawals during early retirement years. Many Americans also underestimate how earnings affect benefits before full retirement age. Claiming Social Security early while still working can temporarily reduce benefits due to earnings limits. Although some of this is adjusted later, the cash flow disruption can create confusion and poor planning decisions. There's also a strategic advantage that's often ignored. Stronger Social Security income later in retirement reduces pressure on investment portfolios during market downturns. Guaranteed income acts as a stabilizer when markets are unpredictable. The costly error is treating Social Security as paperwork instead of strategy. When people retire early without understanding how continued work affects benefits, they often lock in lower lifetime income unnecessarily. Working longer doesn't just add income now, it reshapes guaranteed income later. And for many Americans after 60, that difference becomes one of the most valuable financial outcomes of waiting. The costly truth most Americans discover too late is that retiring early after 60 doesn't just change when you stop working, it changes the entire trajectory of your financial future. Retiring early can work in very specific situations: strong guaranteed income, low fixed expenses, minimal reliance on market returns, and a clear long-term plan. Outside of those conditions, early retirement often increases risk instead of reducing it. The danger is that early retirement decisions are usually made when everything still looks fine. Portfolios are healthy. Expenses feel manageable. Markets may be cooperative, but retirement is not a short-term event. It's a long-term financial test. As years pass, inflation erodes purchasing power. Healthcare costs rise. Market volatility becomes unavoidable. At that point, retirees who left work early often face fewer options. Income is fixed. Benefits are locked in. Portfolios have already absorbed years of withdrawals. Working longer, even briefly, can dramatically change this outcome. Extra years of income reduce pressure on savings, increase Social Security benefits, and shorten the time retirement assets must last. In many cases, the financial value of working longer outweighs the emotional appeal of retiring early. The truth is not that everyone should work longer. It's that retiring early without understanding the cost can quietly undermine decades of effort. After 60, the most expensive mistakes are not obvious ones. They are decisions that feel harmless at the start and become irreversible later. The real question isn't, when should I retire? It's, how much risk am I willing to carry for the rest of my life? Understanding that difference is what separates a stable retirement from a fragile one. If you want to make smarter retirement decisions after 60, subscribe to the channel for weekly videos on retirement planning, Social Security, and retirement income strategies. Like this video if it helped you see the real financial cost of retiring early versus working longer, and comment below. Are you planning to retire early, work a few more years, or are you still undecided? Better retirement outcomes start with better decisions, and those decisions start with understanding the truth. One of the biggest planning mistakes Americans make after 60 is underestimating how long retirement will actually last. Many people still think of retirement as a 10 or 15-year phase. In reality, retirement is often a 25 to 35-year financial commitment. Living into your late 80s or 90s is no longer unusual. It's becoming normal. This misunderstanding directly affects the decision to retire early or work longer. When people retire early, they often plan based on optimistic assumptions, steady investment returns, stable expenses, and good health. But the longer retirement lasts, the more likely it is that those assumptions break down. Inflation compounds. Healthcare costs rise. Markets go through multiple downturns. Small planning gaps grow into serious problems. Working longer reduces this risk in two powerful ways. First, it shortens the length of retirement. Fewer years drawing. Income means less pressure on savings and investments. Second, it strengthens guaranteed income sources, especially Social Security, which becomes more valuable the longer you live. Many retirees only realize this too late. The early years of retirement may feel comfortable, but the real test comes later, when flexibility is gone and income decisions are locked in. This is why longevity risk is one of the most expensive risks to ignore. Retiring early without accounting for a long life often leads to difficult trade-offs later: reduced spending, higher stress, or fear of running out of money. The uncomfortable truth is that after 60, the biggest threat isn't retiring too late. It's retiring too early for a retirement that lasts far longer than expected. Understanding how long your money needs to last is essential before deciding when to stop working. If you're thinking about retirement after 60 and want to avoid long-term financial stress, subscribe to the channel for weekly videos on retirement planning, Social Security, and smart retirement income strategies. Like this video if it helped you rethink the real cost of retiring early, and comment below. How long do you expect your retirement to last? Planning for longevity is not pessimism, it's preparation.